Oh, before I start this video, I do want to say go sign up for the Untapped Battle Tourney. If you haven't seen the video, go look at that. It'll be in the description. Tomorrow, on Saturday, the signups will be closed, so definitely send me the deck list and as well as the entry by then, so we can get this stuff going on Sunday. And yes, it is untapped.in, which is the website. Just type that in, and all the information is in the challenge link. So yeah. So today we got a surprise, and that is the Series 5, Set 5, whatever you want to call it, for the Dragon Ball Super card game. And yeah, these sets are coming pretty quick. But not the previews itself, but the sets itself are scheduled. So if you ever, again, refer to my other videos as far as scheduling and talk about it every single time, it's pretty normal. It's very expected. Just deal with it. But in itself, right now, as far as all the previews, we are introduced to a lot of different information, a lot of different cards, a lot of things that I was speaking about. I don't know if I ever talked about it in my actual videos before, but it was just things that I was 100% like, this needs to be in the game, and as well as balancing concerns from Bandai themselves. So the first thing though is this new trailer. If you haven't checked it out, go to the DBS website. As soon as you go to I think products or one of these, strategy, maybe I think strategy, and then go to the Series 5 stuff, you can see it on that main page. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm not going to do like a reaction thing or anything like that, but there's a few notable things first that I do want to point out. So the first thing, obviously, is the new block. So with the release of the World Tournament, that is the end of the Overrealm block. If you ever look at the bottom right of your cards, they are, well, at least for a set 3 and through World Tournament, yeah, it does have Overrealm. So now you're gonna have a new set or Overrealm block, as in a set of sets basically, or a combination of sets that make up that block. And I only mention this because sometimes people just don't realize that. Another part is that some are saying that we're gonna go into rotation, which is possible within block sets. And I've mentioned this before, in which Bandai only tests within that block. So it's a little contradictory. I think that's not very much true, and if it is, well, that sucks. And two, they've openly said, no, I do not, we do not want to do rotation, but it makes sense that they would test within the blocks only to have rotation within those blocks. So if we're talking through like set 3 to set 4, or World Tournament, or set 5 to set 6 and the theme booster and draft box in between, or set 1 through set 2 and the villains and heroes set, basically the expansion set. So those make sense. Those make sense as far as rotations. I don't know how it would go. I don't want rotation in the first place. I want a limited list. I want balancing. I want answers to different things. And I just want to have a fun card game. That's basically what I want. I know that's very broad, but I'm behind the thing of saying players are very good at recognizing problems, but are really bad at providing solutions. And sometimes I'm in that space too. So anyway, off the tangent, the first thing is that obviously the new block is coming. The next thing is going to be obviously SHENRON. So the new it's so funny because they said give us power and give us even more fun. I'm like, oh, it's that easy? We could just ask for it and we're just gonna go for it? Okay, that's cool. So the Series 5 kicks off the new block, so that's really cool, and that's gonna be Shenron's wishes. So interesting logo here. I don't really like the font, but cool that they have the Dragon Balls. Finally, they have a Shenron leader, so I'll get to that in a little bit, and then as well as the concept of having Dragon Balls in itself. So Sorbet, which should have a T, I don't know why it doesn't have a T, is one of the first leaders revealed, and then the other one is going to be Shenron itself, or himself. And basically for this card, he is a yellow leader. He is Frieza's army. He does have cold bloodlust because his flip side is actually Frieza, and you'll see that in a second. But his auto is when one of your battle cards gets attacked or attacks, sorry, It gains 5k power for the duration of the turn, and then choose up to 1 Dragon Ball from your deck or life and add it to your hand. So there's 2 things. So this kind of is really good. This is basically Pan, right? Without playing him. So if you wanted to look through the effect itself, it's basically Pan, but just it gains it when it attacks. So any of the 1-drops, anything like that, whenever it does attack, you don't have a choice. That's what it looks like anyway, just like Pan, in which it can gain the 5k or not. So like all the 1-drops and things like that, it gains 5k. So like the 15k 1-drops or whatever it may be, they all gain 5k, and you can boost it all you want before it attacks. That way you can you know, get out of counter or bait out of counter or whatever you want, and gain that power. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And the fact that you can choose a Dragon Ball from your deck or life is very interesting. We've never had a card where we can interact with the life and actually shuffle it. So it basically, yeah, it obviously says shuffle any areas you look through, so you can actually look through your life and see what's in there, and look through your deck to see what's in there as well. So you can do this pretty much at any time during your turn after it attacks. So it's very, very interesting. The other interesting part is the wish mechanic, in which if there are 7 Dragon Balls in your dragon dragon area, if there's 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area, you can choose up to 1 desire card from your drop area and then add it to your hand and flip this card over. So I don't know what is desire card. I think it goes through it. I think it goes through it, right? Pretty sure. Yeah. Duels of Fate reimagined. Okay, very dramatic, very cool. Here's the other card, the Dragon Ball Secret Bulma. Once per turn, you can choose up to 1 Dragon Ball from your deck, not life, and place it into your drop area, and then shuffle your deck. So interesting. She is a black card, so you can fit her in any of the wish mechanic leaders. So it did mention, and I'll show that in a second as well, that the wish mechanic is actually on a lot of different leaders. I hope it's not on every one of them. I'm okay with it, but it's just limit. Like, you have to have at least 7 Dragon Balls, and most likely a desire card in your drop area and in your deck. So that kind of takes up a lot of space. And it's just like Cell Chain, just like Buhan, just like all these other ones. They're very linear, and you sort of like you know exactly what's in their deck and what's taking it up. So later in the game, and they're thinning out their deck, you kind of know what's left and what to expect, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I completely agree with all the leaders having a wish is all it is. But pretty cool mechanic. One other thing is that if you look here, and here, I think this is Go 10. I want to say Go 10. New Krillin card, maybe? Looks like a red one. And then a Yamcha leader. So obviously they threw that one in there, and they do that sometimes. Sometimes they have them as a teaser, or just as a placeholder, but I'm pretty sure we're just gonna have a Yamcha leader come set 5. And then now these are the Dragon Ball cards. I think there's another better picture of this, but it says that you can include as many poppies as you want, as long as it doesn't exceed 7. So you can have 7 Dragon Balls. You can have whatever you want as far as that goes, wherever you want in life or deck, because you can search it with Sorbet. And then if you loot a card of Shenron, you get to draw a card for free, which is pretty lit, because you get to draw out your deck, and then it goes right to drop area right after. After testing some of the world tournament stuff, like, draw power is a real thing. But we'll see about that. Anyway, so this is the flip side that's gonna show in a second. So I think here you go. So there's 3 different sort of effects that you can get. So don't crucify me, but this reminds me a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, for those who just unsubscribed, that's all right, bye. So if anything, this does remind me a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So the ones that have like a whole book of different effects, which is not that bad, because now again, we get to introduce different leaders that have this, or different cards that have this, or interact with leaders or other cards. So very cool. I think it's very cool. And basically with his awakened side, you can choose one. Again, it's still Frieza's army, and it's Frieza's clan. So I don't know why I don't know. Listen, and Shenron, I don't know. I don't know why they have he has all 3 of them. Anyway, he gets to choose one, draw 1 card, so that way you don't even have to attack. You get to just chill. You get to choose 1 yellow or black desire card from your hand with the energy cost less or equal to your current energy, and activate his main skill. So that's actually pretty cool. It depends on what these desire cards are. After looking through it, maybe we'll see it in a second. I didn't see any quote-unquote desire cards, and I would imagine is one of the traits at the bottom right or in the actual effect list. So and then remove 7 Dragon Ball cards from your drop area, and then choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with and energy, by the way, up to 2 battle cards and energy. I didn't even notice the energy, and switches to rest mode, and this gains 15k power for the racing turn. So it's a 30,000 attacker, in which of course you have double striker, and I think now we have critical that gives critical, but you can definitely go for 30,000, 40,000 double strike if you'd like to go for game, which is very, very powerful, and switching their energy, which is crazy. Of course, this kind of sucks that you can't overwhelm, but I can see the reasoning and not using that effect, and then just feel you'll overwhelm or drop area anyway. And that's a Kid Goku. Okay, now that I see it, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, cool. New strategies and all this other stuff. These are the dates. This is reversed. Well, for me, it's reversed. It's usually 11/2, but it's November 2nd, November 9th, and then November 23rd. If you don't know what the gift set is, I think it's like alternate card leader art, and a few different things. And then the starter decks, which I think, I don't think it's in here. I don't think it's here. I think it's in the other page. But I think is Gogeta, and then Janemba, and then most likely Super 17. I'll show that in a second. I keep saying that, but you know. One more wish, revive my fiercest rivals. So this very creepy. This is actually really cool. Like, if I could just like copy this, can I copy this? Do you think I can get copyrighted? I just want to copy this from my like live streams and just let it play in the background. That just sounds so cool. All right, anyway, this miraculous revival. So I don't know what 10.5 is. Please let me know, because this is probably a blonde moment here in which, like, am I missing something? 10.5, am I missing something here? I don't know, somebody tell me I'm missing something. And then the nice little Bandai logo at the bottom, or at the end. So very cool. Now if we switch over to the other side, or the other page, it says, you know, the same thing, the themes, everything else like that. So this is what's concerning to me, in which saying wish as the only awakened. I can see it, but I don't know. We don't have any well, yeah, we don't have any milling or overwhelm. Yeah, we don't have anything that interacts from your opponent to your drop area, which is okay. We don't have anything that prevents this, so I guess it's just really about getting your Dragon Balls into your drop area and then getting your wish off, basically. So I don't think it's gonna be too hard, especially with that Bowman card and probably other support. I don't know. I'm very wary about this. I love it. I love it. It's probably better than what I designed or what I had in mind, but all right, whatever. Yeah, we kind of went through this. The universe's greatest villains will soon be revived. So this most likely would be like Cell leader or Cell cards. Obviously Frieza, new Golden Frieza leader is already there. Like I said, Super 17 and a couple others. So like if you look here, I mean, Janemba, that's definitely Janemba. Like that's definitely Janemba. And then Gogeta, that's his pose, that's his halo, that's his hair. Like I'm super excited about that. And then I was thinking that this was like in Namekian. I was thinking that this is a Piccolo, but I already realized that we have a Piccolo leader already, and then we have the Slug already. So this makes more sense that this is actually Super 17 because of this little bandana right here. That's why I'm assuming anyway. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think who that is. Now the last thing are basically basically the miraculous revival, the design concept sort of letter to everybody. If you haven't read this, it's a good read. There's only certain things I do want to point out as far as the archetypes and everything else like that. Here are the two or the Shenron leader basically. I have it up over here. This card can attack, so it's just chilling there. It makes sense because they're just Dragon Balls. Like, why are you attacking Dragon Balls? Just don't attack my leader. What are you doing? Basically, it says switch this card to arrest mode and then choose up to 2 cards, Dragon Ball cards, from your deck or life and add it to your hand in the shuffle. Just like Sorbet is searches, this is the best leader for Dragon Balls. What it looks like, even if you went to anything else, because the Dragon Balls itself add it to your hand, and then you can use those to actually draw. So you're thinning out your deck and then drawing and then getting into your drop area afterwards. And with that draw, it helps you to get more Dragon Balls basically. So if you open up like 5 Dragon Balls after your mulligan, you get to draw all of those for free basically, and then have it in your drop and then wish and then flip it over. You get to choose a desired card. Again, I don't know what that is, so you know. So this one is kind of concerning only because they can't attack, so it's just chilling there. I mean, Shenron is probably one of the strongest characters or the strongest beings in, like, this Shenron, the Golden Shenron, the Namekian Shenron, all very, very strong beings, and these mans can't attack, so that's pretty funny. And what's return? It has pretty much the same thing, or a similar thing anyway, to Golden Frieza, where you can draw a card, you can just chill and draw. Really good for the draw, for the Dragon Balls. And this one, choose a desired card, same thing, equal or less value. And then this one is the one that's different. Choose or remove Dragon Ball cards from the drop area to the game, and if you do so, choose one of your battle cards and gains 10k and triple attack for the duration of the turn. So this is pretty cool because now we can interact with different cool things on the other end too. And now before I switch over to Shenron's lair, if you take a look where it says drop area to the game, that's not warp. So I wanna say that I just realized that is not warp. So they specified it to game, so that way this cannot be used again. Because with him, he's a black leader. I hope this is not it. This is like beautiful card art, by the way. I just love. This is just beautiful. Like that's really good looking. Anyway, is a black leader, so you can use Gravy to refuel your drop area. But because this says remove from the game, it doesn't go to warp, and you have to use it as is. So just a thought. So if we look at other things like the high drops, let's just talk about how we can use Scientist Fu and then make it gain triple attack. Can we talk about that for 1 energy and then remove it? Like that's just wild to me. Or using him as triple attack, like that's busted. That's busted. Oh, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. So I mean, like anything that's like I mean, this would be cool, so that way you can ignore blockers. I mean, you can still remove the 7 Dragon Balls and still have 5 in your overwhelm or your drop area. You can still use black cards that drive your drop area as well. So I mean, these are just thoughts. I mean, that's just so cool because this is triple strike critical in which they can't combo or block, so that way they have to use a counter. And you can always use Rat Ring, so I mean that's the thing. And there's so much support. We have the Champa and as well as the Supreme Kai, in which you can gain double strike for that too. So I mean you can take this a lot of different ways. Oh man, that's so cool. And we have all the all the new World Tournament cards, which I don't know if that would be any kind of plausible sort of thing. This would be cool because you have triple strike, triple attack. You know, hey, you get me now? You get me now? If you're running maidens for some reason, I mean that makes sense actually. If you run maidens with this leader, and then it gains dual attack, and then you give it triple attack right after. So I have to see the ruling for that one, I guess. And then I think anything that like each time when this card attacks, I don't know if it'll show, but we'll see. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Anything interesting, I guess. I don't know. Like something like this, Dragon Fist Goku, just bouncing everything and then gaining 2 energy. So if you had 6 energy to play him, you can gain that right back and then just do it over again. I guess that would be a really cool loop. Oh, that's cool. All right. Oh man, this is gonna be a really good 10-minute shenanigans. Okay, all right. I'm gonna come back to this. If you have any ideas as far as Shenron, just let me know. I think that's gonna be really cool. Anyway, so back to the actual thing about this. So I would say read it for one, and I would say the summary about this is so if we take a look at every section, so the first thing is that they're saying thank you, and we're like, hey, we got Series 5 coming out, go get it. And these are just like the main concepts and things that we had to take in consideration when making it. And they were saying we were raised on Japanese card games, and there's a lot of differences between that and Western card games. And basically from Series 1, they were getting feedback and as well as watching different games. So they were saying like, hey, these are going longer than expected. They came out with Series 3. They're like, okay, here you go. Here's some good aggro stuff and quickening everything, especially with set 4. They were like, oh snap, we realized that, and we're like, oh snap, okay. But that is a real concern. I will say, like, I would not like if I don't know if I can take a regional in Series 1 because we get to like 7 8 energy each time, and then we have the sideboard and then go over it again. So that is definitely a concern. And now we're at a place where it's turn 2 kills or turn 3 kills, and it's just like, that's annoying as well. So I mean, they're finding the balance and they're realizing their shortcomings, and that's really good. I think that's really good. And I've said this before, Bandai's always listening. I've never really put down anything as far as they go, and I think they're always trying to get answers as far as that goes. So just this in general, like, we know we don't think there's anything wrong with aggro decks, but Series 5 gives defensive cards and leader cards with new effects, which is down there. We'll see. It's very good. So like they were saying, for during opponent's turn, if your leader card is a certain color and this gains, or this card is in rest mode, the opponents cannot attack at leader cards, and this gains 5k power, or less 5k power, or minus 5k power. So things like that, like they're saying, has effects like this in every color. So that's pretty cool that everybody gets some support for some defensive stuff. And it forces people stop playing aggro, or you can play aggro. It's just a little more difficult. But I will also say that yellow leaders might make a comeback because of control, and because of core bloodlust, and because of different things like that. Like, I'm glad that the Shenron leader cannot be cold bloodlusted, but that's just a thought for me. Deck archetypes. So they were saying Series 4 aggro is dominating. Thank you for acknowledging that. I love you, Bandai. And then we're designing Series 6 to support the terrain of being defensive, and making sure to construct it from ground up. So that's really good that this block will really kind of fix that, or at least give answers to that. So they don't want to ban anything until it's really needed, like legendary flutes. They don't want to errata anything until it's really needed, like Mecha Frieza. They don't want to do anything of that sort, because they, and I get it, because they're a company and they want to provide more fun and more options, but also make money. I know that sounds very obvious, but at the same time, like, it's true. Like, they, instead of like banning and things like that, they can't make money off banning cards, and they can't make people happy off banning cards or eradicating cards, right? But they can make money on making answers and giving more archetypes, and as well as different things like that. So I could see the thought process behind it, but I don't know if I agree with it completely. But at least they're acknowledging it, and at least they're trying. And because we're only a year or so, about a year and maybe a month into the game, we still have two more series to go, and hopefully that will rebalance new deck archetypes and rebalance old ones. We will see. Another thing, I think this is the last thing, other than, yeah, this is the last thing. We haven't really designed any cards that interact with the opponent leader card, and these are some examples. If your opponent has 4 or more battle cards in play, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less in your barrier, and then KO them for 2 energy. That's pretty sweet. So they're acknowledging the barrier issue, which I don't think is necessarily an issue, but is also limiting your opponent to play certain battle cards, or else they're all gonna get KO'd unless they have like 4 or 7 drop cells or something. And then this one, if your opponent places an energy card in their energy area, or card in their energy area using a skill during the game, choose one of your opponent's energy and place it in the drop area. I don't really like this. If you're trying to balance the game itself, like, we have enough answers. We have Mass Saiyan that can be played in really any deck. We have Piccolo that was just released, that has a barrier in which, like, it's not going to be removed, and when it plays, you can remove an energy. And for, I mean, if it's saying pay 2 energy and then make sure they neg a card from energy. I don't know if I agree with that. Okay, I don't know. But these aren't interactive cards per se, but attaching the cost to the activation of these cards would be forced to place risks instead of simply resolving them without interference. Because now, yeah, if you, I do watch other YouTubers, okay? I think in the 13 Reasons Why from 3XG, if you watch that, if you ever see that, he did mention that we have a lot of, I'm paraphrasing, okay? Free cards or things that are played without consequence, and fixing that or having answers to that or realizing that and having answers to that is really good, because sometimes, like Cold Bloodlust, we can just Cold Bloodlust without anything. The person could use 5 energy and now that card is pretty much dead, especially if it's an Overwhelm card, or if they had Objection and they, well, I mean, Objection I think is actually pretty balanced. You have to not only waste the energy to use it, but also give up a card to do that. But in the next turn, you basically are 2 up on that opponent. So I don't know. It's really, I don't know. I just want to see what they say. I want to see what they print. I want to see everything as far as that goes. Please read all this, everything. They also even said woo, so they realize it. So again, 2 card concepts, expanding tactical options with new Wish Leader effects, and then adding deck types that tie each color's unique qualities to character flavors. So expect more blue energy manipulation. And then all this other stuff is kind of like all the Wish Leader cards. So my only concern is that, you know, all the Wish Leaders or the leaders will have Wish. So we'll see. But overall, it looks a lot of fun. I'm very excited to see everybody here. I'm very excited to see all these other different leaders. Looks like Gogeta himself. We might even get a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Let's be real here. Looks like we have 2 different Namekian, or 2 different Shenrons as well. So one being Namekian, which this one looks like the Namekian one's fat. Like that one, he's a thick boy. And then this one looks like the actual Namekian, or the actual leader for Shenron. This one looks like Vegeta. I thought Vegeta was going to be like the main focus, but I think he is right here for this Vegeta, and then this Vegeta. He might be Vegito. Now that I think about it, he might be Vegito. We'll see. This is Yamcha. That's 100% Yamcha. That looks like Krillin, so that's pretty cool. That's Janemba. This one looks like Vegeta yet again, and this might be even a Gogeta leader. So we might get, like I said, we might get like Gogeta right here, and then Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. I don't know. I'm very curious. And this is also okay, this is Gogeta. So this is the starter deck. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then special pack. Okay, so no leader, but that is still Janemba. Yellow card, all this other stuff. Okay. Well, to prevent from this being too long, please go check out that video. Please go check out everything else. Join the Discord to see what we're talking about as far as these cards go. And if anything, that's pretty much it. Subscribe, let me know what you think, like, dislike, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.